everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's the Saints going up against the Dolphins. With that, let's go down to Miami. Standing by, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in one of America's finest cities, Miami, Florida. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins. Now a first down throw, Tannehill. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Jarvis Landry, the intended receiver, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Time to feature the offensive starters, and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
This one caught, Jordan Cameron. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time. You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there'll be designed runs as well as his scrambles.
Ooh, with a juke. Shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there, a 22. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. They'll try the air now with Tannehill. And Stills over the middle. And he's brought down. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolded.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've caulked it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. The headshots here are the offensive unit, and what about Brandon Cooks?
If he's not a 1,000-yard receiver every year he's healthy in the league, I'll be surprised. Came out of college wanting to be a pro, studied all the best receivers in the NFL before he even got to the league.
And all the way down to the 29. A huge play there on the screen pass. 48 yards.
A well-executed screen pass means the offensive line has bluffed the defenders. They make them think that they can just get through and get to the quarterback. Instead, they're setting them up. Little screen pass, lofted over them, and now they're in front, and they get downfield for big yardage when they do it right.
Calling a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. And a look at the starters for the Miami defense.
You can say a lot of things about the great play of Kiko Alonso, but the number one thing you will say, he will hit you.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down. They go again with Hightower. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Brought in left side by Snead. It's been a solid start to 2016 for Willie Snead, 226 yards. He's also hit the end zone twice as well.
And he fits what they like to do on offense in New Orleans. Sean Payton, the head coach, Drew Brees, the quarterback, they trust him. Remember, he was an undrafted free agent who had been cut by Cleveland and hooked on with New Orleans, and now he's really making his mark. The quintessential coach's kid. His dad, a very successful high school coach. For those vertically challenged quarterbacks, here's a time where they will tell you it's an advantage to be a little bit on the smaller side, able to duck in behind their offensive line and stick the ball across the imaginary yellow line for a first down.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play there, second down. Big boys down there in the trenches and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Kobe Fleener from 17 yards out. And the Saints have taken the lead. And a great example there of just getting the feet in a tough spot. It seems like every year these guys get better at this.
Well, I think the drills get better that they work on, training camp, off-season work, OTAs. But also a lot of these guys have dance backgrounds, ballet backgrounds, and they take that and carry it over to the football field.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Dolphins offense trots back out there, and it was a valiant effort. Almost coming back and beating the Patriots last week. But, you know, Jarvis Landry, after the game, they asked him about that. He said, no. We can't be an almost team. I'm tired of that. We should be winning these games. That's the attitude you want your guys to have.
I love that he spoke up and said that because, to me, this is a team that should have that attitude. They should be competing for a playoff spot, being in that race, and he's letting everyone know that close is not acceptable.
Parker was pretty sharp against the Patriots, Charles. 8 catches, over 100 yards.
And they were so happy to have him back in the lineup because he missed a lot of time in preseason and the season opener. And now with him playing, that takes some of the pressure off of Jarvis Landry. And Devontae Parker in the red zone, he's going to be a heck of a weapon with his ability to elevate and catch the ball.
Partner, through 2 weeks of the season, what have you thought of the rookie quarterbacks? You know, what made me think of that, Jared Goff did dress last week. Obviously didn't play, but he was on the sideline. But what have you thought of some of the rookie quarterback play?
Well, I'm just going to start with Jared Goff because so many people are wondering, hey, how come he's not out there? Well, listen, Carson Palmer, remember when he got drafted #1 overall? Sat for an entire year in Cincinnati, had to learn the ropes. So sometimes that happens. You bring him along a little bit slower. But Dak Prescott, I'm incredibly impressed with. Not just the poise, but the playmaking ability. And he has Dallas at 1-1 right now. Jacoby Brissett had to come in and play for New England after Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. Led him to a touchdown drive, and they hung on and won against Miami. And Carson Wentz, the learning curve continues for the rookie quarterback in Philadelphia.
And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
To throw is Tannehill. And over the middle, this is Parker. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
And he's brought down. That one goes for 16 yards and sets him up first and goal.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And this is incomplete. Jordan Cameron is tight end, the intended receiver, and that'll make it second and goal. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on third and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on 4th and goal. Here we go on 4th, Tannehill. And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And he will at least be able to fall on it himself, but it was 4th down, and the possession changes. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they... Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. The fumble, but they're able to maintain possession. Now it's 2nd down. Breeze gives it up to Ingram. And he'll go down just shy of the 20. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. A nickelback added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. Now Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And Ndamukong Suh coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. Now Landry. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board, so let's see if it changes a little bit.
This is caught at the 20, and he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. They give him a gain of 38. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Tannehill, and the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll fake it. Now Tannehill looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the safety, Jarris Byrd. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of